All right, it's time for a long awaited update of what all this craziness is. First thing first, we have a lot of pears this year. It helps out having the irrigation because now it actually waters all this in the back, which we have a whole bunch of sunflowers coming in. We do have some corn back there getting started. So it's not really going to be that big of a harvest, honestly. There's only like 4 or 5 stalks. Pumpkins this year doing really good. We probably have like 40-ish pumpkins, which I'll show you as we go around the rest of the backyard. Dahlias, again, first time this year that they're flowering in this quantity. Usually I only get like 1 or 2 flowers, and with the new irrigation and fertilizing that I've been doing, we probably have like 50, all different colors. Really nice flowers. Would be really nice to cut those and give to the lady. And then we have some onions. This is just one onion that I replanted. And like I said, the dahlias are growing really nice. So they actually have some offshoots in the back, which are starting to grow nice and tall. We have the Mexican sage really doing good, and also sending out a couple side shoots from the bottom. Aloe plants aloe plants I planted in here are doing really good, but doesn't make sense. Just like the rest of my gardening, I kind of experiment and see what happens. So I will have to take those out. The dinosaur kale is going absolutely bonkers. It's going nuts right now. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of these, and you can literally pull like four leaves, 5 leaves a day from just this area, and keep snacking for the family. Again, a whole bunch of dahlias everywhere. I'm hoping to save seed and grow some more stuff from that. Coming back over here really quick, this is a beet, which I'm letting flower. I have another beet right here that's flowering, so there's a ton of stuff coming off that guy. I have some pepino melons right here that are growing. The melons themselves aren't established. The plant hasn't flowered or produced any. It's just the beginning. It's the young seedling, if you will. And then back here, if I can get in here, I've got okra, which I'm letting dry out. I just used seed from last year. So we have plenty of okra going nuts. Again, you don't want to plant stuff like this because it just gets very unhealthy for all the plants. They just don't like this close proximity, and you're more likely to get pest damage like this. All this kale you can see is just all being eaten by aphids and who knows what else. We planted gladiolus this year, first time. They did really good. Sorry that I'm not showing you them in all their glory. It's kind of the end of the season for these guys, but had a bunch of red, purple, and I think pink flowers. Looked really beautiful. Also, I had some poppies which are done flowering, and I cut all the flower heads off so I could replant those next year. So what I'll do is I'll actually just go ahead and pull this guy right now, and then I will throw that in the compost. Down here, I do have some random peppers that I planted because I just had a ton of inventory. Those haven't actually produced any peppers. I do have a cantaloupe back there, and I forgot the name of that guy, but that, along with the aloe and the other aloe, all just needs to be taken out. This is a Violet de Bordeaux fig, doing really, really good this year. It is a cutting that I actually ordered off of eBay, and now I would say it's probably getting close to 9.5 feet tall. And it's growing very vigorously. Whole bunch of offshoots. The cutting that I originally got literally was just a single leaf, probably about like that big, and now it's just monstrous. So very impressed with how fast figs grow in the backyard. Next thing, we have a cantaloupe for the first time, doing really well. Hopefully it gets a little bit bigger, but that's the first time we've ever had a cantaloupe. I have a whole bunch of tomatoes right here. I forgot the name of this one. It might be a country purple. But with that, I have all my flowering plants nearby in this bed. If you guys saw my other videos, I usually just plant a whole bunch of flowers in the front to let them cascade over the edge of the raised bed. And it is literally quite a jungle trying to get in here, so sorry, but there's a lot going on. But yeah, poppies, Elysium, I forgot the name, and then this little flowering guy right there. We have a ton of nasturtium, both the yellow and the red one, which I'll show you in a second. The calendulas are pretty much done flowering, so I can collect some seed from these guys. and put those in some canisters. Again, nice country purple tomato plant. A lot of these plants that I'm showing you are just plants that I had extra of, and I decided to plant them in there, and they just went nuts. Like I said, all I did this year was improve the irrigation, and now we have just so much going on. Let me go ahead and grab this poppy plant and then take you guys over to the compost, which is this area, which again, like I said, is kind of getting overtaken by all the growth. This country purple tomato belongs to that main shoot over there, so it's kind of crept this way. Same with the nasturtium and the pumpkins, and I'm sure there's a pumpkin in here growing down in the compost, but it seems like a lot of the roots from these plants on the adjacent sides have gone into the compost, and they're just loving that breakdown of all that material. Down here I have another, like I said, bunch of pumpkins. I don't know the name or the variety. These are just pumpkins that we had for Halloween, and I threw them in the compost. But I mean, I have all shades and sizes and colors for these guys. But you can see I got yellow. This one's almost like a red orange, kind of like a tomato, which looks pretty good. Some more over here. Some other ones that are flowering. This vine, literally, it's going to be such a difference once I cut all this back when it dies. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of plants getting started. Before I go the other direction, let me show you over here. Got bell peppers getting started. I've already harvested a ton of jalapenos off of these two plants. The rose bush is going nuts. I'm trying to get it to follow the greenhouse so that next year it'll just be roses all on this side. And it doesn't really seem to be upset about the lack of sun from the shade cloth, so I'll just leave that there. Artichokes are doing okay. I don't know what it is. I might actually just take them out of the container because they don't really do all that great in the container. They do produce a flower, but they don't produce multiple flowers that are of a good size. So I'll probably take them out of there. I have a blackberry cane. This is the offshoot this year, and so this one alone is huge. And I'm just going to leave it in the container because I don't want it to begin to spread and get out of control. So it's already doing really well, and then next season we should definitely have some blackberries. Coming back over here, if I go through the pumpkin patch really quick, another thing that did really well this year was the daylilies. I think I have a picture, so I'll put it on screen, but these daylilies are doing really good. It helps that they're getting watered. One of the cuttings from the rose is actually in here and is doing good. And then you can see our red nasturtium. Again, another tomato in here. I have some tomatoes growing. Like I said, this is, I guess you could say, chaos. It's not even organized chaos. It's just, I'm planting everything all next to each other. We have our apple trees that are about 4 years old that I started from seed. I did graft different varieties onto them. So this one is a different one, if you can tell by the leaves. So very nice and green, like a light green. And then the actual rootstock, you can see is a little bit more red on the leaves. So both those are grafted, doing well. In the back there, I have a ginormous nectarine peach thing that I planted. And is doing really good. That one is just straight up in the ground. These two are the grafted peaches, which I will have a video of the grafted peaches. But these guys are doing really well. This one actually, both of them produced peaches this year. But of course, because of how small they are, they weren't all that big and they didn't produce that many. But man, they were absolutely delicious. It was the Georgia Belle variety. We have the different grass back here doing good. And I have another apple tree that's doing pretty good, but I'm gonna have to move that guy. A lot of stuff has to change, I know, but we're learning, we're having fun, and we're growing, so that's what matters. Again, we have another fig. This is the Fig Nominal. I just decided, I had it in the greenhouse, which I'll show you in a second, but I just decided to throw it in front of the sprinkler because it's just more consistent watering. And again, as soon as I moved it in front of the sprinkler, it's just going nuts. I'm very surprised there's no super bloom of pests and disease over in this side for how close everything is and how kind of choked out it is. I have a couple random things growing. I think this is an oak tree that an acorn just landed in here. So I'm just letting it go nuts. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm trying to rush because I don't want to make this a 50-minute video. So coming over into the greenhouse, I've done a lot of different things in here. We still have some building supplies, but we have bay trees, which I moved because they were just getting burnt and they weren't getting watered all that much. So I moved them in here because I put a sprinkler head in here that's also on a timer that waters everything. So like I said, both bay trees. I have a whole bunch of little soursops that are doing really well, and their roots are actually getting to the bottom of the container, so we'll have to up pot these soon. I do have a random mango in here. I have some, what is this? The vanilla bean. I have a whole bunch of vanilla bean doing really good in here. About time to move this guy at least over, probably closer to the apple trees. Young bay tree. I have star fruit. Not the fruit themselves, but this is a grafted star fruit tree that I bought on eBay. I think it was like 65, 70 bucks. But doing good right now. I'm more worried about it in the wintertime. In the wintertime, this thing will probably die back because that's exactly what happened when I planted it in here first. But it is looking really nice and healthy. I just got to keep up with fertilizing all this stuff. I have another fig right here. I think this is the yellow fig. Another grafted peach, just chilling. As you can see, it's just, I don't have enough space. I really need a ranch, and yeah, it just costs too much. So avocado tree, and I have a lot of peppers right here. I think these are also jalapeno peppers. And I have these like really small ones. So they're there. These really tiny, small little guys, which are past due. They're starting to shrivel up, and I can probably dry these and throw them in a dish of some kind. But they're doing pretty good. More jalapenos right here. Some more over here. Another mango. I have some carrots right here that are starting to grow. If we can get down to the roots. And you can see some of the orange maybe. Yeah, so that's going on. Again, a whole bunch of avocados. My luck with grafting these guys has been atrocious. I haven't had any luck. I haven't been able to graft any of these guys, but they're doing really good. I have some lilies. This is another lily. I forgot which one. They've already flowered, so the flowers are gone, but looking nice and healthy. I have some calla lilies, which are starting to grow. They are probably going to actually die out if they get any sun. They'll definitely dry out. So I have a whole bunch of other ones that I'm going to grow for the winter or the fall and the winter time, but they're doing good. Yarrow is doing good. I have another mango right here. Again, doing really good in the summertime, but I'm more worried about how it's going to do in the winter. These leaves, again, I just love growing avocados and mangoes for these leaves. It's like this vibrant, shiny pink, purple, and then once the leaves mature, they get to this green. So we'll see how that does. This is a grape cutting. I forgot what variety it was, but it's a wine type of grape. It's not a raisin or an eating type grape. It's for wine. I forgot which vineyard, but I got this as a cutting, and just like the mango, it's doing really good. The roots are already at the bottom. I just don't know where to put it in the backyard, or maybe I can make a trellis next to the rows, something that goes across to the greenhouse to have all the grapes kind of trellis down. A lot going on, but that's that. I have a whole bunch of random trees over here, just peaches, and I forgot the names of those guys, but I have another one that usually doesn't do all that great. Our seed starting zone is pretty much all done. There is some stuff in these containers that I'll start getting set up for fall, and just reorganize this, but like I said, in the middle of building things and get distracted, change my mind a lot. This was a grafted mango, which has died. I'm gonna assume that it was probably just overwatered. But this, all in this container with it, is Elysium. And so those guys, you can see some of the flowers. That thing kind of took over that container now, so I'm okay with it. But I did spend quite a lot of money for that grafted peach. And then if we continue on, going over here, we do have some oranges that are going to be nice and ready for the wintertime and the fall. Again, this orange tree, citrus tree, is doing really good because of our irrigation, which we have going all the way to the back. Nice plants, or nice flowers back there. This is where those aloes really should be. Kind of want to turn this into like a desert garden succulent area, and remove some of this stuff. We have the succulents in the pot. And then again, another pumpkin gourd looking thing. We do have dragon fruit right here, which is doing really well. It's finally getting over the scaffolding that I made. And all the arms are starting to fall down. So hopefully soon we'll have some kind of dragon fruit. Again, pumpkins doing really well. We have another cantaloupe in here, another tomato, which hasn't produced any tomatoes. This area is where I took the bay trees out of because it just gets too hot, too much sun. Right now it's morning time, luckily. So we can see a little bit of this, but all these plants, I'm gonna just redo this area and probably bump up the amount of water that gets out over here. But like I said, we have just a ton of pumpkins all over the place. We also planted our banana tree, which is doing really well, even with the heat. I'm kind of surprised it's doing really well. Near the base, I actually have that soaker line kind of doing 2 loop-de-loops. And I think that's been really good for that root zone to get that water. And then I just spread fertilizer around the base. And it has started to send up a pup. So we have a second banana coming in, looking good, nice and healthy. Some more stuff over here, tomatoes. Like I said, pumpkins of all shapes, sizes, colors, interesting little patterns. Like, it's really nice. This guy, I forgot the name of this, got this from Hawaii. And it's doing really good. I wish I could remember. Our birds of paradise are sending up new shoots, new leaves, looking nice. And coming over here, still a ton of growth, more pumpkins. Then a whole bunch of these little tomatoes. I'm pretty sure this is probably like the Sweet 100 or one of the hybrids. Doing good. And this is like an experimental patch. But again, this whole side of the yard doesn't really get all that much shade. So a lot of this stuff is already matured, crispy, and just dried out. So that's it for now. I'm sure there's other stuff I could show you, but like I said, don't want to make this video 40 minutes long. So yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.